Welcome back to Dry Hollow Homestead. My name is Danielle and we are going to make mozzarella today. So my fridge is overflowing with milk, as it does when you have a milk cow. And I want to make pizza here this weekend, so I'm going to go ahead and make some mozzarella cheese. I am not an expert at mozzarella. I feel like I've gotten a lot of other cheeses, hard wheels of cheese, down. I make them very well. I think they turn out awesome. I cannot wait to see what they taste like after I've been making cheeses for 5 years. So great cheeses. Mozzarella, not so much. I don't know. It's not that it doesn't turn out right. It's just not great. I don't know what I'm doing. So this is not a how-to. I'm going to go by the directions, actually. I'm going to go by 200 Easy Homemade Cheese Recipe book if you want to follow along. Mozzarella 2 on page 76. And first step is to put our milk in. I put 2 gallons in my pot. I have my thermometer. It says to get it to 55. It's been out of the fridge now for half an hour and it's at 50 degrees. So I don't even think I'm going to turn this heat on before I add my citric acid. This is what I use. It's Millard citric acid. So I'm going to add this I'm going to do 2 teaspoons into a 1/4 cup of water. This is just water from my Berkey filter. And I love using mason jars as a measuring tool because if you take it up to the rim, that's 2 cups. It has it on the side. See, 1 cup, 1/2 cup, 1/4 cup. So I'm going to add 2 teaspoons to my water, stir that together, and then pour that over my milk, and stir it in up and down. Remember, that's the motion you have to make when you are doing cheese. So I'm going to do that. And I bought the citric acid before I even had a milk cow. And it has lasted a very long time. Okay, it's mixed in, it's dissolved. We're nearly there. I'm not exactly very precise on much of anything that I do in the kitchen. So maybe that's why this doesn't always turn out. So you're going to do an up-down motion to stir that in. And then we are going to heat it up to 88 degrees. So far, so good. Mozzarella doesn't really have a whole lot of flavor, I find. It's just a good thing to put other things on, like basil and pepperonis and marinara sauce, and yeah. So that's what we're making. Turning the heat on now. I'm going to do about medium heat to get this up to 88. It shouldn't really take us that long. I'll bring you back when it is then. We are at temperature. We're probably a little bit above, around hopefully 90, 88 degrees. More like 95. Still going with it. Alright, so we have a 1/4 cup of water and a 1/4 teaspoon of our animal rennet. I've already mixed that in with my water. I'm going to dump that in. We're going to stir it in an up-down fashion. And then we are going to allow this to set. I turned the heat off already. Then we will let it set with the lid on for 30 minutes. It's been 30 minutes. Timer's going off. I'm going to turn that off. We are actually going to check for a clean break. Stick your finger down. This is a clean finger, by the way. Pull it straight up. As it breaks straight across, it does. So we are ready to cut the curds. Okay, we are going to cut our curds. I'm going to get my fancy bread knife. And we were going to do curds that are, I always take this out, 1/2 inch cubes. So, maybe I can bring you over here and show you what I'm doing.
The mic was trying to hit Josiah.
Oh, all right. Get interrupted by your children a million times. Okay, cubes. This is more like this is more like an inch cube, but not too terribly concerned. I'm going to go and cut at an angle. on all the corners. Okay, I'm going to let that set for 5 minutes and firm up. Timer just went off. This has already sat for 5 minutes. These curds have toughened up a little bit. Now I'm going to stir them and turn the heat on a little below medium, and we are going to stir and heat it up to 90 degrees. Let me double check my temperature. Nope, we're going up to 100 degrees over 20 minutes. So I bet we could probably go up to medium. I'll let you see what our curds look like. I always think this is fun. So we will be gently stirring this. These cubes are definitely bigger than ½ an inch, so I'll kind of break them up as I go. You want to see what's happening in the background? Five minutes is up. I put my thermometer back in. We are going to stir this, turning the heat on medium. For 20 minutes, we're going to bring this temperature up to 100 degrees. I love the way it looks whenever the curds are in the way. I'll show you what that looks like. Stirring it gently. There's a fashion show happening behind me, so it might get a little loud. Lots of makeup. And I only have one daughter, and her cousins are here. They're both boys. So my sweet 4-year-old has everybody doing a fashion show. Stirring this now. We'll do it gently as not to break up the curds too much. And I'm going to do by the recipe this time. A lot of times I do a streamlined version that Venison for Dinner has showed on her YouTube channel. And I really enjoy her channel because she gave me a lot of ideas for cheese making. She's actually probably the only other channel that I found that shows any. And then she went to where you have to, like a Patreon or whatever, so you don't get her videos unless you pay for a subscription. I actually have done that. I've been one of her members only, and I really enjoyed it. So I would recommend if you have a milk cow, she's a great resource. But most of what I've ended up finding works best on our homestead is just by trial and error. I've read a lot of cheese making books. I've read books that were written back in the 80s and the 70s, and it's a mix of all that works here. That's why I thought I would try to show everybody, because it doesn't have to be anybody else's perfect. It needs to be your perfect. And I felt there was a need for this. We're going to be here for a while. Okay, we have gotten our cheese up to 100 degrees. I've turned this stove off. Now it says to stir for 20 minutes. I don't know if I'm going to do that. I'm busy. I have to get a bunch of briars off of someone's Batman costume. So I'm going to pretend to stir for 20 minutes. This might be why it doesn't always turn out awesome. But let me show you what it looks like. It's already starting to mat together at the bottom. Whoa! So we're going to continue to stir for 20 minutes with the heat. Also, we need to be boiling some water. I have my kettle going with boiling water and another container, another bowl that we are going to need in a few minutes. Okay, to that bowl that we have our salt in. This actually called for 8 tablespoons of salt. I did a roundabout. We are going to put our boiling water and dissolve that salt. And I just have a kettle. I don't know how much water this is. I might have to do another kettle full. But my stove is only got 4 burners, and they are already like pretty much full. My stove is full, so kettle is the best way to go for this. That actually might be good. Oh yeah, I'm still supposed to be stirring this. Oh, it looks good. I don't know what we would stir anymore for. It's already one mass. See if I can kind of sift it out. So, it seems to be going good. I'm going to stir this hot water and salt to dissolve it. Yeah, and then we're going to drain the whey off of this, and then we're going to put it in here. Okay, so I've read through these directions. Sounds like some of it is necessary, but not all of it. So it says to strain your cheese out for 15 minutes. I'm not going to do that. I am going to dump the whey. It's already in one mass at the bottom of my container, so I'm feeling pretty good about it being all together. I'll show you what it looks like. Yeah, so I'm sure something about following directions for me is the reason that it never turns out great, like as great as it could. Alright, so now we're going to put it in this hot water, boiling water, and you're supposed to use, oh, it's hot. Heat gloves and like stretch it and get all the whey out of it. I'm going to use my spatula because I don't feel like going to find my gloves. I don't really use them very often. And stretch it out until it looks shiny. And then we're going to put it in cold water. It's actually looking pretty good. I'm happy. The homemade is so much better. Better tasting and better for you and cleaner ingredients. Use things that we do here on our farm.